The Update 4 cycle has officially begun and pre-release 1 is now here. Plus, I have a couple of additional pieces of news to share about Hytale's future, including how large future updates are likely to be handled. Simon dropped a little hint recently about this, but I had a private conversation with him about it too, to where I can speculate a little bit further than what was in his tweet. First though, with pre-release 1, as a feature that Simon got directly from one of my live stream chatters about 2 weeks ago, and he DM'd me a screenshot of it implemented about a week ago while I was live on stream, of a feature that really shows how player focused the team is. You may or may not know this, but Hytale has a built-in automatic backup system where by default, a backup is made of your world every 30 minutes, and you store up to 5 recent backups, then 5 additional archive backups are kept as well. So if your world were to be corrupted while we are in this early access state, there's a good chance that you could just revert to your most recent backup and lose nothing more than 30 minutes to an hour of time. The issue was that you had to revert the world manually by going into the file folder, copying over the right files. Now that process is built into the game where you can just straight up restore from an old backup, or even better, you can click validate world to check your world for corrupted chunks. And if they exist, click recover world and the game will attempt to recover those corrupted chunks without losing much, if any, progress at all. A mod management screen tab was also added to the world screen where you can more easily see information about mods on your world, and you'll get a visual display when a mod targets a version of the game different than the one that you have loaded, indicating potential incompatibility and that the mod might not work. Something that we've known was coming but is now officially here is players can now run multiple instances of Hytale on the same PC. You will need multiple profiles or accounts to do this, but it's as simple as opening your launcher, changing your profile in the top right corner of the window, then opening the game. They do not recommend opening the same world twice, as this could cause corruption to the world. But what you can do if you want to have 2 accounts in the same world is you can open the world on one profile, enable multiplayer, then on the other profile go to servers, click on local, and then the world will show up in the list there for you to join. So pretty easy to go through and do and get multiple profiles in the same world. On to some endgame stuff now. Fishing traps have been updated to allow them to place closer to other blocks, to place in shallow water, and always display their placement preview. Previously, this was pretty buggy and didn't work properly. Also, the bow can no longer be drawn if you have no ammunition in your inventory, so no more annoyances of trying to shoot your bow to find out that nothing's coming out of it. We have a few building updates in here as well too. These ones I've seen asked for by quite a lot of people. First one is that windows and cloth roof blocks no longer require other blocks to support them, making them much easier to build with. Chandeliers can now hang from more block types, and decorative chains and brick beams can now support more decorative blocks hanging from them. Now here's a big one. Moose have been slowed down by 20%, advancing Simon's Canadian style attacks against them after this last update of not having them be part of animal taming. I don't know what it is, but a moose did something to him at some point that made him not like them. Some other UI and quality of life changes have been added as well. You can now hold the drop item button and mouse over items in your inventory to drop stacks of items while in adventure mode, or destroy them in creative mode. Crafting benches will now display item rarity and will also show how many items are being crafted when you craft more than one. Now, there are a whole lot more in the patch notes, so I'm gonna just scroll through the full notes right now on screen for you, and I'll link them down in the description below. I'm not gonna actually go over all of them, as there's quite a lot. And Simon did post one additional piece of information about the patch notes that weren't included in the notes too. He said, quote unquote, a lot more was added to the back end, including some prep work for proximity voice chat. This is a huge deal for those that play multiplayer and play on servers. And while we're probably still a ways off from getting this proximity chat and other social features into the game, it's great to hear that it's being actively worked on by the team, and hopefully we'll see it sooner rather than later. Now, I mentioned this in the beginning of the video, but about future updates. Simon posted this tweet you see on screen right now, and in it, he lays out how they are doing larger updates in the future, and it being a chapter system and unfolding the Curse Breaker story arc. Now, I talked with him about this a bit, and while I can't reveal everything that he told me, I feel I can elaborate just a touch on what he said here. Basically, what the plan is that they are going to push these larger updates. My guess is that they will be more specifically themed around a particular part of the game, and the plan is to make the updates even more fun for players by adding in the Cursebreaker story arc as a way to lead into the eventual release of version 1 of the game, whenever that ends up happening. Now, this is something special that is only happening during early access, so if you were here, you got to experience it. And if you weren't, then you'll only be able to relive it via YouTube videos like mine and others. So an example of this, and this is my made up example, so they may or may not do this, but the example would be an underwater chapter where they update swimming, boats, mobs, water mechanics, structures, and biomes underwater. I would expect that level of theming behind the chapter-based content, although I'm sure some non-related things will get included as well. And there will likely be in-game rewards for completing parts of these chapters, sort of like how you get rewards for the memory system in the game currently. Lastly, I broke another piece of news, although it's something we won't get to experience for a while. As a builder, it's a very exciting one. I dropped a suggestion here on Twitter and Reddit about making roof blocks use a connected texture-like mechanic so our roofs can match the blocks of our builds better. And literally within minutes, Simon responded to it, telling us they plan on doing this, but it's a low priority at the moment. So I don't know about you, but the fact that it's on the to-do list at all is actually really exciting. I can't wait to see it. So if you're enjoying my Hytale content, please subscribe to the channel. YouTube analytics tell me that about 85% of you aren't subscribed, and just clicking that plus the like button would rocket the channel's performance on YouTube. And of course, I would greatly appreciate it. And thank you so very much for doing that. You can also support the channel by recommending people use code PROWL8413 when they purchase Hytale, or by picking up a channel membership or a Twitch sub. Thanks a ton for watching today. It's time for me to hightail it out of here, and I'll see you next time in Orbis. Goodbye.